Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about why, if you are a crypto holder, you should be incredibly mega bullish right now. We're going to talk about our new president, what to expect, and kind of beyond that, right? It's more than just Trump winning. There's a lot more to it. We're going to kind of touch on a lot of things kind of briefly and explain kind of why we're so bullish right now. Okay, why everything again is lining up exactly in kind of the best case scenario for this to be one of the best bull runs and potentially one of the last mega bull runs of this kind. Okay, so we're going to talk about it, give our thoughts. So if that sounds good guys, stay tuned. Let's get right to this thing. So Trump won by basically a landslide, causing a lot of positivity in the market, which was what we're kind of expecting, right? So regardless, in reality, Bitcoin, as we know, in the long term, doesn't really matter who wins. More of this effect was going to be short term. And specifically, that thought process is specific to Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin is already there. It's already that asset class. It's already been ruled that way. We already have the ETFs. We already have the institutional interest. Everything was there. Where things were still going to be kind of murky is with altcoins. Okay, and this is a big reason why we're so bullish right now on not just Bitcoin, but also now altcoins. Okay, so we're going to kind of touch on that briefly. So Bitcoin did hit new all-time highs after this news, right? We've been pretty much pumping. We did hit over 76. Still potentially in price discovery. Again, when things of this sort of magnitude happen, a lot of the whales like to come out and play. Do not be surprised to see a potential dip here or for us to continue upwards, right? A lot of volatility when this stuff happens and a lot of excitement in the market, right? So especially in the long term. Short term, again, I'm not really trading anything short term. Is just long term wise, everything is setting itself up to have, again, a tremendous bull market. Okay, so let's kind of look why. So it goes beyond Trump just winning the presidency, right? In reality, this is going to be even better than just the previous time he was president. Why? Because of control of, currently they have control of the Senate, and we don't have it officially confirmed for the House. It's still going to be kind of close potentially, and it's looking really good for the GOP side, right? So we'll fully know hopefully here fairly soon, but right now, if they get the trifecta, then expect regulation to come into play. Like for me, I think this is the biggest thing. If we can get clarity on regulation, especially for the alts, right? So we've had a very tough time. A lot of projects, coins have had a very tough time kind of doing anything in this like regulation by enforcement environment, right? Leading a lot of projects to leave the country, going out of the US, going to places that are more crypto friendly. That's why Dubai has been a hotspot recently, especially these past few years. In case you haven't noticed, where have all the big blockchain shows been? They've all been in Dubai. They've all been in areas where they're gonna like foster an environment for them to grow, for them to actually be bullish, for them to be behind them. This is what the US has been missing big time, especially with people like Elizabeth Warren with the anti-crypto army and all that nonsense, just driving all that innovation out of the country, right? These are things where we should be the leaders in the space. Now potentially with this regime in place, because again, it goes beyond just Trump. It's everybody, right? Trump, RFK, JD Vance, like it's crazy, right? It's crazy. Let's touch on some of the things. Again, the biggest thing for me is if we are to get clarification on crypto regulation, right? I know it sounds kind of weird because that sounds kind of against everything that a lot of crypto assets and Bitcoiners are here for. But in reality, especially for the altcoins, again, this is a bigger thing for the altcoins more so than Bitcoin. Okay, because a lot of the times, what ended up happening through the years, right? These lawsuits coming out of nowhere, causing just a lot of disarray, not a lot of confidence for builders here in the US, right? That's why a lot of them have been building their foundations out of the US. They've been dealing outside of the US to not deal with this. And this is why we've had such a hard time doing anything, even from an investment standpoint. Like we're excluded from almost everything. Any ICOs, any IDOs, you have to be on a VPN. You have to get like residencies for other countries in order to participate in these things. We are on the ban list for any of those things. And if you guys recently, Airdrop farming, participating in those things, we are banned from that. We have to be on VPNs to participate in those things. This is freaking ridiculous, right? We should be on the forefront of these things instead of on the back burner like we have been. And hopefully this does lead to change here. Okay, because as we've seen, these past years since Gensler has been in charge, we've just seen random lawsuit, causing what? A lot of FUD and a lot of uncertainty in the markets. Like, right, should I really be investing in these things? It's going to be classified as security and it's going to drop. Even just as of a few days ago, we just had one. IMX recently just got a Wells notice from the SEC. Okay, and we've seen this time and time again. One of the big standouts is when they had a whole list of them, right? This one is from July of this year, when the SEC's lawsuit against Binance had classified Sol, ADA, Matic, File, Atom, Sand, Mana, Algo, AXS, and Cody as securities. Okay, and then what happened? A lot of FUD happened, and a lot of people just do not want to touch it because of the uncertainty, right? Enterprises, companies, they don't want to invest these things. A lot of times they're uncertain if they want to be even affiliated with these things, right? Recently, we've seen a lot of these projects kind of do deals and partnerships with these bigger companies, and these companies don't even want to like disclose it. They've forced them to sign NDAs and they can't even disclose of it. A good example is recently with all these partnerships with Helium, for example, with Helium Mobile, right? We kind of know based on the back end that they have a deal currently offloading with AT&T. It looks like Google Fi, it looks like T-Mobile as well, but they can't really speak on it because of these NDAs, because in reality they don't really want to be associated with blockchain, with crypto, with the uncertainty that it brings or the hatred that it brings because of this rhetoric going all against it. Okay, we've seen it time and time again. Another good example for you guys following like the game, like Off the Grid, right? It's gotten a ton of negative press just because of the whole crypto aspect. Like a lot of the reviews and everything regarding it were just based on the fact, oh, it's going to be a bunch of crypto bros who are just going to inflate the thing and it's going to turn into a Ponzi and yada, 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 instead of just realizing for what it is, right? It's going to bring more acceptance. It's going to be more normalized. And to me, that's one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to if it happens, right? The hope is there. Maybe they blow it off, but in reality, it does seem very likely to happen because as you hear any of these guys talk, especially JD Vance, very bullish on JD Vance. A lot of people aren't even necessarily the biggest fans of Trump. A lot of people voted just because of JD Vance. They voted because of RFK. I'm one of those people, right? I love JD Vance. Seems like a legit guy. He's definitely a crypto guy. We'll talk about an article here, there. And a lot of the talks, if you listen to them, a lot of good stuff, right? So it does bring me hope that potentially we can get this clarity. So that way, you know, people can do things. People can invest in these things. These exchanges can list these coins without the worry of, oh, is it going to be listed as a security? Because they don't even know what's going to classify it as, right? All they want is clarity so they can know what they can and they can't list, right? So things such as like Casp and such could potentially get listed on Coinbase faster. These quality projects, instead of people being so like apprehensive of doing it, like, oh, should we not? Is it going to be listed as this? Is it going to be listed as that? We're going to get sued, etc., right? We've seen it with all of them. With Kraken recently, also got just a lot of stuff, guys. This would bring a lot of good things, again, especially on the alts. Okay, and then as far as Trump grows, dude, this is our freaking sitting president. Like, if you weren't bullish on him, he has, in case you guys forgot, freaking NFT Collections. He just dropped his own freaking DeFi platform, this World Liberty Fi. Like, bro, this is the US's president. Okay, so if you're not bullish on crypto, if you don't think he's going to be bullish on crypto, he's going to pass legislation that's going to be bullish on crypto, him and his party, you're crazy. Like, all those people in the comments these past like 6 months, oh, the top is behind us, that was the top, or there's going to be no more bull market, blah, blah, blah. You are freaking crazy, right? This is just the beginning. It's only going to get better. This is the reality we're in. It's just mind-blowing that this is what it is, and this is where we're at already, right? And then you can see the excitement coming from him winning. You can see even just this morning, IBIT has seen $1 billion in volume in the first 20 minutes today on the Bitcoin ETF. Insane. Insane, right? So hype is there. We're starting to see action on Coinbase, their stock, as far as interest and stuff goes. This is going to drive retail also. But keep in mind, though, this is, even without retail, this is going to be an institutional bull run, right? We've already seen it. Seen it for quite a while now, and it's crazy to think that we're here. It's crazy to think that this is happening. Again, it's insanely hard to not be bullish at this point. Like, I don't understand how you cannot be, right? So we'll see if he keeps his promise with Ross Ulbricht. Another big thing is if the Bitcoin actually does do this strategic reserve, right? It would be insane. Again, there's a lot of people behind this. On both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats have supported this. Okay, to what extent? I know initially they're going to start with the allocation they have. Are they going to continue to add to it? What's going to be the extent? Very bullish, but kind of the key thing here, more so than anything, very similar to what happened when BlackRock got into the Bitcoin ETF game. What happened? They shined the beacon and kind of gave the signal like, hey, it's time to get in. What happened when BlackRock made that announcement? Literally day after day, week after week, another group, another hedge fund, over and over and over again. Potentially a similar scenario happening here once they confirm this, if it is indeed going to happen. Do not be surprised to see other nation states, other countries follow a similar pattern. It's going to be crazy to see, right? It's going to happen. You're going to see, corporations, enterprises also investing in this. We've already seen an increase in pension funds also increasing. When we add the scarcity factor on top of that, it's potential to go crazy here, bros. Like, again, it's insane, right? And in case you forgot, RFK is also extremely bullish. He did also have plans to do something similar. His was insanely bullish, right? To buy 4 million Bitcoin if elected. Obviously, he's not elected, but he is going to be with Trump. Obviously, very bullish on Bitcoin also. Okay, so again, it's not just Trump, it's everybody in there. Okay, another big one is getting rid of Gary Gensler, almost guaranteed, right? It seems like also people are alluding to that he actually may even resign here sooner than later, rather than wait to get potentially canned or replaced, right? At this point, I'm not sure if he can actually can him, but we know it's going to make it extremely difficult for him, right? Most likely, I wouldn't be surprised to see him resign here in the near future. Will he try to go out with a bang and we see all these Wells notices and all this crazy enforcement? Who knows, but we know it's going to be coming to an end here shortly, right? So another mega bullish thing, because again, just more on the regulation front, right? Let's keep on going. And this is Elon with his Doge thing, the Department of Government Efficiency. In case you haven't noticed, then again, people saw it leading up to the election. He's going to pump the hell out of Doge, right? So shout out to any of you guys with any script ASICs. You're probably going to do fairly well, because he's going to continue this rhetoric all the way through, and he's probably literally going to make that an official name. Again, what freaking world are we living in? Like, it's crazy, but it's the reality. And again, if you're not here, if you're not invested, if you haven't started, this is the reality you're going to miss out on, right? It's just insane. Another big promise from Trump is that all Bitcoin will be mined in America. Is that really going to happen? No. Is it arguably not the best thing? Again, you want decentralization. You don't want it to be just these like 5 big companies, Core, Riot, Mara, TeraWolf, and CleanSpark mining everything, right? But it's just bullish that, again, he's going to make it so they don't have to worry about going elsewhere, right? The way things were going, look like a lot of these guys were going to be leaving the country. A lot of them have made investments into larger farms outside of the country. So a lot of them heading into like Paraguay, etc., other places. Nigeria recently has been another hotbed. The Middle East has been another hotbed recently. So this is a big thing, right? Because again, he wants to have cheap energy, and this is a big way to do it, right? So we'll look at the quote down here. Biden's hatred of Bitcoin only helps China, Russia, and the radical communist left. We want all the remaining Bitcoin to be made in the USA. It will help us be energy dominant, and that is a key thing there. Trump posted on Truth Social. Since then, Trump has on multiple occasions reiterated this sentiment. If crypto is going to define the future, I want it to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. Trump declared in Nashville. We'll be creating so much electricity that you'll be saying, please, please, President, we don't want electricity. right? And this is the big thing, is cheap energy, right? And this is a great way to facilitate that. Okay, let's keep on going. And this is another big one, is just cheaper energy prices. And again, that actually will tie into that, right? So Trump wants to have energy prices. Experts say it's doubtful, but again, that can play into that role, right? It's going to be interesting to see what he does there. And again, JD Vance is very pro crypto, not just recently. This is a tweet from actually a few years ago. This is back in August 2021. Just him opposing a issue statement opposing this cryptocurrency amendment, right? So you can go far back. He's bullish on it. You can look at different talks and videos of him talking about it, and he's definitely there, right? So it's crazy. Again, it's not just Trump, it's just everything kind of combined. And again, as we've mentioned over and over and over, is just everything literally is just lining up in place, and it's going, bros. It's like actually happening. Today is officially November 6th. Tomorrow, Fed meeting, potential another rate cut tomorrow on top of all this. Like, it's, again, like, it's extremely hard to not be bullish here, right? And again, it's not too late, guys. It's still time. Obviously, the sooner the better. You wanted to get in before this run, but again, there's still time. Things can go extreme from here, right? To what extent, especially with the alts, it's really hard to say, but chances are, bros, this may be one of the big last ones where we can get this like easy generational wealth within a cycle, right? Who knows what happens beyond this now that the big institutional interest is here. Will we have such a big fall off in the next bear market? Who knows? That's going to be a whole different thing. And again, these are things you got to start kind of thinking about now as far as like selling points and what to do next year, because it is going to be extremely stressful. You're going to be fully in the zone. You're going to be feeling like, oh, it's never going to stop. And this is where you have to really plan things out, set your goals. And again, this is just another key part of the puzzle, right? And this kind of does change things a little bit. This does kind of increase things, because again, especially as a miner, you want to consider things like, again, all these things are pro, but what about these tariffs, right? Especially for us who buy these ASIC miners out of the country from China, they get shipped in. What do you think is going to happen there, right? So these are the types of things you want to consider. You want to place yourself. You want to like look at these things, right? Start thinking about what can happen there. And if a lot can happen there, right? That's a big thing we got to factor in, a big thing we got to consider as miners to see what kind of goes on from there. So just consider things, guys. Start planning things. Look at different things. Again, with freaking Elon being in there, that kind of changes the game with like the Doge sentiment big time. And we've seen it this past week. That's why it's been pumping leading into this thing, and it continued to pump after this thing, and it's going to probably continue to pump, right? So that's one of those things where, again, if the other side would have won, it would have been a little bit more bearish, right? Overall, in reality, it's still going to do its thing, but it just kind of gives you more insight into there, just gives you more confidence that it's not going to just, have this 1 week pump in the peak of the bull market, but probably going to sustain well. So again, for any of you script miners, anybody thinking about the L9, any of those things, probably going to have a pretty good bull market, right? Especially even just if it stays at these prices and just gradually ticks up. If it keeps up with the difficulty increases, because we know a lot of people are going to be purchasing these things, but having such a great start already, profitability is looking super juicy already. If it just keeps up with this thing and just remains that way for these next 10 or 12 months, amazing, right? So to each their own, guys. I know some of you guys who are on the other side of the aisle may be disappointed, but again, if you are in crypto, you're winning, right? So it's just very bullish time, guys. Prepare yourselves, place your bets, do what you want. It's up to you, but don't waste this opportunity. Don't be that coulda, woulda, shoulda, guys. Look at all these signs, guys. Look at everything in front of you. Right? I get it. People have been fear-mongering about, oh, with these rate cuts, we're going to go into recession. Look at the data, right? Look at the data. Look at those analysts that you trust, because there's a lot of fear-mongering, and there's going to be a lot of fear-mongering, right? And it's up to you to determine. Who knows what ends up happening here in the next 6 to 12 months, but make up your game plan, decide what you think is going to happen, and go from there, right? You guys all know where I'm at. I'm mega bullish. I think these next 12 months are going to be insane. These past 12 months have already been insane, and then we're just going to continue from there, right? Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys think? Are you guys just as bullish? What do you guys think, right? Let me know. Am I overly bullish? Am I a little bit too out there? Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys think? Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I am out.